Hello, hello, everyone. How are you? Welcome if you're new to the channel. Welcome back. If you love me, I love you too. So, we're here because the Astro Dice have called me, which means one of the signs needs some insight in divine time. Whenever it is meant to catch you, it is meant to catch you. There is no time on these readings, okay? I've selected a few decks Spirit guided me to. We are, of course, going to use the Tarot cards. Spirit guides me to them all the time. They are from the world of Pathfinder, and they are D&D cards, but they work exceptionally well in everyday reads. And I'm also going to be using my energy alignment cards for the overall, and I'm going to be pulling the Icarus Tarot to get some overall just who we're dealing with and what we're talking about. I was guided to the Night Sun Tarot for insight into the more specifics of it all, and then the Super Oracle with the Whispers of Love and the Rainbow Warrior cards for guidance. All right, and this deck I always use as an action deck, so guidance on what action to choose will come out of there. All right, so without further ado, what sign today, please? Who needs it, Spirit? Gemini. Gemini, you are hogging up all of the Astro Dice reads. We got Gemini again. All right, Gem. So be it. What other signs or houses or placements might be relevant, Spirit, if they are not Gemini big threes? We've got Mars in the third house. So third house is also Gemini's house, but you may specifically have a Mars in Gemini. You may have Gemini ruling your third house, which would make you an Aries rising, more than likely. Okay. You may straight up just have Mars in your third house. So this would be significant for you if that is the case. All right. Spirit, please. Or you could have your Mars in Gemini regardless of house. Okay. You just have a Mars in Gemini. So let's see. What is going on, Spirit, that you would guide me in this way at this time for Gemini and the Geminian energy? Well, that explains the Mars. Jeez. All right. All right. Okay. Bottom of the deck is the Keep. Top of the deck is the Juggler. All right. All right. On the board, we have the Uprising, the Inquisitor, and the Twin with the Empty Throne. Gemini, why am I not surprised that the Twins came out? Did that camera focus on the Uprising? It will. All right, so those are the main cards out. Let's get the energy alignment of them. What is going on? Connection oriented on the Uprising. Malicious in reverse on the Inquisitor. It's also a heart chakra card. Both of them came out pink. And give me one for the Twin and the Empty Throne. The Real Diamond. All right, Jim. All right. Interesting. We've got self-ownership on the top. Sociopathic is on the bottom. Integrity and integrity oriented is the other side of that. All right. So, gem. Let's pull the Icarus Tarot first before I get into the Harrow, because I'm going to read little bits of these for you. The Sun on the uprising. All right, so I like this. That's good. Clarify the Inquisitor. The Hierophant and the Devil. For those of you who are not familiar with the Icarus Tarot, it is a deck of major arcana only with a couple additional vibes. Judgment for the Twin and the Empty Throne. Bottom is the Hermit. Top is Icarus. Okay. Icarus is all about flying the line of balance, right? You can't get too high into your own ego, and you can't get so down in the dumps that you sink. It's about flying middle of the road, right? All right. Hermit's going down into the deep and finding wisdom there. All right, so the uprising. You know what? Let's do the keep first, because that's the underlying energy. And it doesn't come out often, so I want to read it for you. The keep is neutral good energy. Really, the joke is under that. It's interesting. The keep is neutral good. It's a symbol of quiet strength, one that can move when necessary, yet stand firm through the greatest hardship. Those represented by the keep are not shaken by any force. Could also represent literally the home. Okay. I feel like you and or someone that you know or are connected to, especially if they're in the house with you, there's a quiet yet firm standing of the ground despite hardship. If you're dealing with another Gemini, you might be in the middle of what feels like a quiet face-off. The juggler is chaotic good, so it represents fate, the gods, and those who play with the lives and destinies of others. If this titanic juggler can keep up his rhythm, he will achieve his goals. So you may be multitasking because there's a lot at play. There's other people either directly or indirectly involved. It may be in the highest good for someone to move, right? Because the keep is on the move. It may be in someone's highest good to move, but there may just be a quiet, let's not go there, talk about it vibe. That's interesting. The uprising comes out with the first energy. Now, the first energy coming out with the uprising, we have the sun and connection oriented. Okay. Sunflowers may be synchronistic for you right now. The uprising is chaotic neutral. It represents being caught in the clutches of something more powerful than you. It's an overwhelming strength that often crushes what comes in contact with it. The crown held high signifies an overthrowing of a leader of some sort. with these energies coming out together. Gemini, I feel like someone's light who is connection oriented. Okay, because this doesn't have to be a person. It could just be an energy in the air. So take it as it resonates for you. But I feel like someone's light who is connection oriented is removing someone, right? A dethroning with the crown on the pitchfork kind of thing. It is reiterated further down the line with the empty throne. Okay. So there's definitely some kind of energy going on here where someone is being removed from their position in someone else's life because they are connection oriented, harmony oriented, and whoever is wearing the crown might not be. The sun with the uprising, I'm getting this feeling like I think everybody in the situation is truly authentic to who they are. But who they are isn't necessarily compatible with other people that are in the situation. You know, like someone who is very surface or superficial, or their love language is money, or, you know, whatever, is not they're not compatible with someone who likes emotional intimacy as a love language, right? Who likes affection as a love language. You can buy gifts for someone whose love language is affection and intimacy and feeling close and deep conversations all day, but they're not going to register the things as loving actions. They might appreciate the consideration, they might appreciate the nice things, but it's not what makes their heart full, right? When you speak someone's love language, it helps them feel connected and as a partner, right? Connection oriented. They would be better off with someone who registers gifts and things as a love language. Because every time they're bought something, you know, they feel that love, they feel closer, they feel, you know, whatever to their person. So there's a disconnect, right? There's a disconnect in love language. And I feel like whoever is getting dethroned or who is in control, quote unquote control, is being removed. Especially if there are issues with self-owning and confidence in being transparent, right? Because those are the other things on the bottom of the deck, or the top of the deck, rather. Faith and vulnerability, assertive, responsive. Like someone might not express caring words while someone else does. Like that's more their thing. I think someone has become more optimistic about their future from a place of like self-mercy. Like, I deserve my love language. You know, they're showing themselves mercy. They're not happy or fulfilled in a dynamic ship with someone who doesn't speak their love language or wants to learn it, you know, or someone who, you know, doesn't even want to learn it. You know, if you were to fall in love with someone from another country and spoke another language, at some point, someone would have to learn the other's language. And it would be best off if they learned each other's language, you know. Otherwise, there's always going to be a gap when the other's family comes over or whatever, because only one person learned it. Like, there has to be an exchange of love language if you're going to, you know, come together with differences like that. The second energy comes forward with the Inquisitor. These are the cards that come out with the Inquisitor. We've got the Hierophant and the Devil with Malicious in reverse. With Malicious in reverse, I think they're working on being harmony oriented, which is the other side of the card. And or they don't realize and or care that their choices come off or are perceived or received as fucked up to someone else. The Inquisitor is lawful neutral. Accepts nothing save the truth. He represents immutable reality, that which cannot be fooled or swayed in any way. To attempt to go against this unchangeable object, person, or idea is to court disaster. This person, especially coming out with the Hierophant and the Devil, because the Hierophant is Taurean energy, it's fixed, and the Devil is Saturn, which represents order. This person is fixed order. They have a fixed belief system. They cannot be swayed or talked into anything. I would be careful about this energy because they're not trying to be malicious, right? But they're not necessarily aligned with harmony either. Harmony in regards to their dynamic ship with you. If this is a mirror, which it always is, then you may also find yourself in a very fixed or immovable position, especially if you are empathic and feeling the energy of someone else and it's being projected back at them. Like, for example, if someone has a belief system and it's rooted in shadow, whether they realize it or not, right? Their belief system does not serve them, but they're fixed in it and it is not changeable, okay? It's a toxic belief system. You may be adamant or fixed in standing your ground against said person, right? Especially if you're empathic, if you're feeling the need to, or the inability to be swayed, right? If you've developed a belief system that has become or feels fixed, it's because the person in your reality, the reason why you're feeling it is because in their reality, they are that energy. This is where you need to learn to discern and separate your energy from someone else's, especially if they are living with you, right? And in close proximity to you, because you're within their energy field, okay? Yeah, the Hierophant with the Devil, that is a toxic belief system. And this is probably why sociopathy is on the bottom. I think if you were to try and sway this person or convince them that they have to do this, or they have to do that, or they have to change, or they have to leave, that would be to court disaster, right? This person expects a certain outcome, a certain response. And if you try to sway this person in another direction against their belief system, it's going to get ugly. It's going to get ugly. Right? To attempt to go against this unchangeable object, person, or idea is to court disaster. So one of two things is going to happen then, because we got the uprising here, right? Someone is going to rise up into their own energy, being connection oriented. They're going to take the control away of the other person, and they're going to shine. They would probably end up leaving the situation, even if they didn't want to, even if it wasn't their best outcome, right, in their own mind. They would leave the situation and shut it off for good, right? Because whoever this other energy is, or whatever this other energy, wherever it's coming from, is toxic. And to mingle with it or deal with it, it's almost, I'm getting this imagery of like seeping, like toxic seeping. Like if you see toxicity seep into the soil, it starts to hurt everything that it comes in contact with. This person's energy is poison. Their belief system is poison. And if you don't discern your own energy from theirs, you're going to poison your own energy field. The other route that you could take is the painful and grueling task of defying this person's belief system and dethroning them, being in your light. Because it's not going to be pretty. This person deals with chains, right? This person deals with change. Chains, they have a book where there's order and law in there. You do not want to go up against the Inquisitor unless you are prepared. Because there's a lot of force in the shadow behind this person. Like, they don't want to be malicious. I don't think it's necessarily in their nature. But it's giving me that kind of ruthless energy. Like, they know no bounds in order to affirm their belief system. I'll give you a great example. Okay. It would be like two people are getting divorced because someone cheated, right? And the person who cheated says, well, I paid for the house is mine. I paid all of the bills. I paid the bulk of the money. It's my house. And the other person says, yeah, but you cheated on me. And this is my home. You know, like, I should not have to lose my home because of this situation that you brought on. Like, we wouldn't even be going through this divorce if you had been faithful. And so they're both at odds with each other because the belief system is, I am entitled, or I deserve what I deserve, or am entitled to. You know, so you have these two individuals who are firm in their belief system and are immovable in it, and it's toxic. Okay, it's toxic. And someone's energy is playing off the other, the immovable energy. Somebody's picking up on it from someone else. you're going to have to discern what is best for your situation, because some of you, it might be best to just simply let it be. Let someone stand in their dark energy. If they think they're entitled to whatever, let them fucking have it. You know what I mean? Like, let them fucking have their toxic belief system and just simply get as far away from their toxic seeping energy as possible. And let them go to live their life and figure it out. You know, like, don't linger or hang around, because their entitled energy is becoming a part of your own energy space, and you're thinking it's yours and it's theirs. It's not theirs, or it's not yours. It's theirs, you know, like, you would be more inclined to free yourself and just fucking leave. Like, the universe would tell you, why are you worried about X, Y, or Z when those things can be replaced? Your time and energy is not quite the same. You can't get time back, and once your energy is spent, it's gone. Like, wouldn't you rather just move forward with your life and leave whoever to their toxic beliefs? Because the third energy, we have the real diamond, right? With the twin, the empty throne, and judgment. I don't think there's a right or wrong way to go about this, because justice is justice, to be fair, right? The judgment is the judgment. If someone has to be dethroned, they're going to be dethroned either way. The quote unquote suffering they'll go through will be the same regardless of path. Because if you think about the example, right? If you think about the example that I gave about a couple going through divorce or whatever, for the suffering to ride out in the court of law, maybe the person who was cheated on will get the house, right? It's not a guarantee that, you get the house just because your partner cheated. But if it worked out that way, yeah, the other person who cheated would have to start over, and it would be a grueling reset, right? It would be a grueling reset. But if you literally chose to just leave and said, I would rather never fucking see or talk to you again, and if that means you keep the house just so that I never have to see your fucking face or hear your voice again, like, that would be great. The emptiness of it all, that someone would rather give up a house than talk to them or see them. You know what I mean? It's just, it's a statement. It's a statement. And they got to live in the empty house that you used to walk through, So, I mean, I don't think there's a right or wrong way to go about it. I think you need to trust your judgment. I wouldn't get hung up on the house. There might be other things that you can get instead, to be fair, but especially in trade of it all. But I digress. I digress. I'm getting way too wrapped up in examples. But the third energy, the twin and the empty throne, those are both charisma cards. Now, the twin is neutral and the empty throne is lawful good. Okay. The twin signals duality of purpose or identity. The doppelganger can also mean indecision, as a person or group wavers between different options. It can also mean divided loyalties abound. The card makes the harrower wary, as it can also mean the entire spread has a hidden or reversed meaning, right? So you may see yourself as both the uprising, you know, the connection-oriented light energy. You may also see yourself as the inquisitor with the Hierophant and the devil energy. And likewise, if you can understand how both of those energies pertain to you, the other person also feels in this and identifies the same way. They also look at themselves like they're connection oriented and they're in their light and they're genuine and authentic. Y'all don't speak the same language. Y'all don't speak the same language. Okay. So you don't understand where this person's feelings coming from, and they don't understand where your feelings are coming from because y'all speak a different language. The empty throne has a sense of loss that is palpable. The ghost signifies that those who are gone will always be with us. They taught us important lessons if only we choose to listen. This card can bring information from far off or ancient sources. And with the Judgment card, it is like a past, because Judgment is scorpionic. It's like a past being rebirthed, or something that was dead that hasn't died. You know, it's it could definitely be a repeat pattern. It could definitely be a repeat pattern. Hey Lala, how you doing? And it might not just be repeating for you, it could be repeating for them. And if you always viewed it as a repeating pattern for them, it's a repeating pattern for you too. And that is what needs to be healed through and learned from. How you get yourself in these situations where you're losing control of your life in some way, you know, and or, you know, they're losing control of their life in some way. There's some kind of repeating pattern here with the types of people that you connect to. Like, you should be connecting with people who speak your language, or people who are willing to learn yours and likewise be willing to learn theirs. You know, people who are willing. But you can't connect with someone who speaks a different language than you, and neither of you are willing to learn each other's fucking language. You see how difficult that can get? Like, you're connecting with people and building life with people, or having dynamic ships with people who don't really speak your language. And they're not necessarily expecting you to learn theirs. They hope you understand it over time, maybe, and vice versa. It doesn't work. It does not work. You need someone who either speaks your language, or you need a shared willingness to learn each other's languages, love languages. This is a problem that you both share. That's why you're in this mirror. Let's get some insight into this. This is the Night Sun Tarot. I'm doing good. I am. Yeah, I'm doing good. You know, another example of this would be like someone whose love language is, you know, long and deep conversations, right? They're they like being intellectually stimulated, right? Sapiosexual. Long conversations turn them on. And maybe another person, their love language is sex and being physical, you know, in that way. But they don't necessarily have deep conversations. And so, you know, it's difficult for them to align in each other's love language, because in order to get one in the mood, they have to do something that it's not natural for them, you know, like they don't have deeper intellectual conversations. You have to find somebody with the same language, because you're not going to turn the sapiosexual on with your normal stuff. Like they have to be turned on mentally first to even be attracted, you know. It's no different with people who are demisexual. Like you're not going to get them in bed. You're not going to get them in a sexual position if their emotions are not involved. You know, someone who is demisexual, their emotions have to be involved. They have to be in love with someone to be intimate with them. If they are not in love with you, or they are falling out of love with you, their intimacy is going to tank. Their intimacy is going to tank. They're not feeling emotionally connected with you. You're not being open with them. You're not being vulnerable with them. Right? They don't feel like they have a partner in heart and soul. And so the intimacy dies. So you got to understand, your partner. What is going on? Specifics, Spirit, please. Yeah, we have the King of Pentacles. So someone's love language is definitely money. The Ace of Pentacles. The Knight of Cups. I'm gonna trigger some of y'all. I'm sorry. I'm gonna hold my tongue for a second, but just a second. I'm a Sag. It's gonna come out. Oh. Okay. Yeah, there's definitely a separation of these two energies. Neither of you trust each other right now. That twin card, none of y'all trust, neither of you trust each other. Hierophant's back out. Ace of Cups. Nine of Cups. Empress. On the Hierophant. Okay. Give me a clarifying energy, insight into the Judgment, because I feel like that's a potential path. The Chariot, Cancerian energy came out for it with the Queen of Cups. And the Ace of Wands. Bottom of the deck is the Three of Swords. Top of the deck is the Eight of Pentacles. Okay. Ooh, the Tower's under the Three of Swords. Okay. I feel like whoever is innocent is ultimately going to gain the victory, as the divine would judge it. Like the reality is the reality. Gemini and energy, the reality is the reality. You can't change the facts of a situation. So the uprising energy, King of Pentacles with the 9 of Wands, Ace of Pentacles with the 3 of Wands, and the Knight of Cups with the Page of Swords in the reverse and the 10 of Swords. Someone feels like they sacrificed all kinds of money to build whatever they've built. They definitely feel like the investor. They feel like they are the ones connection oriented. They have they laid the foundation. The problem is their eye is shut. So they're blind to the self. Hey, Tanya, how you doing? So they're blind to the self and the journey. They're blind to the journey. The 3 of Wands is a journey card. So they feel like they've invested all of this money to lay this foundation, but they're blind. The Knight of Cups with the Page of Swords and the 10 of Swords. They could be drinking their own Kool-Aid with this. This is like a 𝐤𝐞𝐫𝐿 kind of energy with these cards clarifying, because the Page of Swords reverse with the 10 of Swords could be online stuff. It could be spying. It could be hidden communication, self-sabotage, betraying the self and then blaming other people, right? Choosing actions of self that are betraying, but they're blaming other people. I feel like especially with self-ownership being on the bottom, this could flip in the other direction. Like someone may be giving up or sacrificing, right? Because the 9 of Wands is on the King of Pentacles, being, sacrificing their earnability, and they don't see how the foundation they have was built by somebody else. And so they're drinking their own Kool-Aid and not realizing how the things that they're saying or their inability to communicate effectively. And I'm not saying you're not a good communicator. I'm saying communicating effectively, right? Love language betrays them. Like they might not be realizing that they were allowing someone to express their love language that wasn't their love language, and they were acting like, yes, I receive your love language. Like, you know how some people will not understand a word you're saying, but they'll nod and they'll agree like they do? It's kind of like that energy. Like, yeah, no, I understand, but you don't understand a word they're fucking saying. It's like you were receiving someone's love language and they were speaking it and you were receiving it. And so they thought you understood, that you understood their love language, but that wasn't your love language. You weren't necessarily fluent in it or understanding all that comes along with their language. And now they're feeling betrayed, right? Now they're feeling betrayed because they were kind of yesing and receiving, the love language the whole time, and then said, XYZ is not good enough. You don't love me. And the person's like, but you've been yesing me and receiving my love language the whole time. And I thought you were speaking my love language. You know what I mean? Like, I thought there was an understanding here. A lot of assumptions and a lot of miscommunications. Those are the tarot on the uprising with the Sun card. Now with the Inquisitor energy, the Hierophant and the Devil, right? The Hierophant came out to clarify it with the Empress. double Taurus energy. Could also be Libra, Taurus and Libra, right? Because the Empress is Venusian. I got the 9 or the 10. Sorry, I thought it was the 9 of Cups. It's the 10 of Cups with the 7 of Cups and the Ace of Cups with the Page of Wands. This is a belief about receiving, and it's broken. The Hierophant is all about belief systems. And this Empress is sitting there with a cracked, broken egg on her lap. And she's wearing this crown of thorns, right? And she's got a crazy look in her eye. Someone believes that their manifestation is broken and they're innocent. That they didn't do anything wrong. Mind you, this is a mirror reading. The twin card came out. Both people are feeling this. Even if what they did is wrong in someone else's eyes, they do not believe that anything they did was wrong. They don't see it. Especially if they're blind, right? They're blind to the journey. They're blind to something. But this righteous, it's kind of righteous, right? With the double Hierophant. There's this confusion over the dream and what the dream is. The love was poured out, but it doused the fire. You know, the Ace of Cups on the Page of Wands. There was pride attached. Both ways. At some point, whoever was involved was proud to have the other with them for whatever image or circumstance they provided. But they didn't speak each other's language. There was a confusion about the dream. A drifting or a floating. Like y'all might have drifted into each other's experience, drifted into each other's lives, and created this manifestation that is ultimately broken because there was a belief in deserving something that you hadn't actually deserved. I know that's going to be triggering. Like you didn't earn it. And they didn't earn it. Like they didn't earn you, or you didn't actually earn the lifestyle. Like there's this belief system about receiving, high receiving. They might, you know, if they are a money type of love language person, they might not deserve the kind of love an empathic person gives. Especially if they don't reciprocate the language. If they had an empath before, you know, and bombed it, they didn't deserve another one. They had no business getting involved with another one. But maybe the image, right, was just to almost kind of hurt the previous empath, you know, like, see, you didn't accept my love language as good enough. But I found another person who did. Like there's something childish about it with the Page of Swords in the reverse and the Page of Wands here. you know, or this person didn't provide, right? The previous life that I was living or the previous partner that I was with didn't provide the lifestyle that I deserve to live, but this person does. And it was kind of like a shot at the past person. Like, you should have, you know, provided for me like this person. But the reality is neither of y'all speak the same fucking love language, and it's falling apart now. And that's the problem. Both people are insistent on blaming the other person, but both parties are truly at fault in some which way, shape, or form. The judgment's going to fall on whose actions are literally a betrayal. Someone is definitely getting dethroned, if not both people, but it's going to get ugly before it gets better, and or there's going to be a sacrifice made in order to keep yourself more at peace. The Queen of Cups is going to move into their fire. That's a given. They're birthing a fucking firestorm. The Queen of Cups with the Chariot and the Ace of Wands on the Judgment card with the Empty Throne and the Twin. Whoever the empath is, they're fucking out, and there's a fire under their ass. Double Cancerian energy. Either way, they're going out with fire. Whether they choose to exit stage left in the uprising and tell somebody to go fuck themselves, right? I would rather never see you again than deal with this, or I would rather take this loss than actually have to fucking deal with you or anything. Like, you can keep it. Your life, your beliefs, I don't fucking care, right? They would have to take a loss and light that fire, or they would have to put their nose to the grindstone in this unmovable energy, hell or high water, because they actually don't deserve what happened, right? Real diamond energy. They didn't actually deserve what happened. The effort is going to be, it's going to be a little painful either way, because there's either going to be pain in the process of putting the nose to the grindstone, or there's going to be pain in the process of the rebuild because you have to start over. You know, either way, it's going to be a painful lesson for both people because they had no business moving forward when they never took the time to learn each other's language. This is a hermit journey, right? Ooh, and the lovers are under that. Gemini, your energy is all over this fucking reading. Yeah, what is your intention? What is your intention? Because we have the rose and the knife here, and we have the person holding the knife behind there, right? The twin is like the lover's card. And he's got a knife behind his back, right? What is your intention? You might find more peace and self-mercy. What that self-mercy is going to be different for everybody. But the cycle's got to close on it regardless with the World card. Healing needs to take place. You might want to take a leap of faith on moving forward. I'm just saying. You might want to take a leap of faith on moving forward. At least consider it an option. Because it will teach you. Either way, you're going to learn. Never, never get yourself tied up in someone who doesn't fucking understand you. They don't speak your language. They don't understand you. No comprende. You need someone like you. You need someone like you. And this is supposed to be that lesson to remind you so that you don't forget. That's why it's going to be difficult either way you cut it. Because neither one of you are owning the fact that that y'all don't understand each other. Y'all were receiving each other's love language and yesing each other. Yes, this is great. Yes, this works. Yes, 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 the whole time. And it's like, what were you putting up with while you were yesing? That's the fucking problem. Let's get into the guidance. We're going to start with a super oracle. Card flew right out. Gentleness. The guidance. Be gentle on yourself. Be gentle on yourself. There's two paths here. One of destruction and what feels chaotic in order to achieve some kind of stability, which may be more gentle on you. You may go through the initial chaos and the crazy in order to achieve a gentleness later. That might be the route you decide to go. Or you choose to be gentle on yourself now and go through whatever you need to go through in order to rebuild or resituate. Either way, you have to choose gentleness, you know, and not deny any or all of the messages that you're receiving. Because if you look at this image, the birdie is there, right? The little birdie is there. And she's pulled her head away, you know, like from the bird. Like she doesn't want to hear it. And birds are messengers. So you have to take it all in and choose consciously. Choose your path consciously. Understand what you're getting yourself into. And trust what you're getting yourself into. Like, don't be surprised when it's fucking hard, no matter what you choose. You know what I mean? But be gentle on yourself in that you know yourself better than anybody. You know your own personal situation better than anybody. Trust that you're going through this for a reason and be kind to yourself in the healing process because you're learning how to not get yourself back in this kind of situation. So as you go through the struggle or the strain or the tower, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Don't beat yourself up or be hypercritical of yourself for making a mistake. It says, gentleness is a life that we cherish for another in our hearts. It is the emotional discovery of ourself and the world around us at its center and as a whole. That leads to a powerful convergence of the totality of our being with all being. Our life is tied to all life, and the lines of destiny become shared in hope and inspiration against distress, alienation, and waste. It is an emotion beyond logic and is the secret handshake of the divine. Kindness, exception, connection, love, care. You guys can screenshot that if you want. But that's important. Gentleness is a life that we cherish for another in our hearts. If you think about the connections that you have, if someone is not being gentle with you, They don't actually wish for you to have a gentle life. They don't wish for life to be gentle with you. They're not being gentle with you. And vice versa. If you are not being gentle with someone, it's because you don't wish them a gentle life. It's not there. The connection's not there. The love is not there. The care is not there. In gentleness, we find that emotional discovery of the self. Can you be gentle? Can you wish gentleness for another person? Because the healing is the healing, regardless. And lessons are lessons regardless, right? The Hierophant is also a high teacher. If someone needs to be taught, they need to be taught. If you are called to be the teacher, then you are called to be the teacher. If you are in the Inquisitor energy and you are immovable in your beliefs, then you are called to be the teacher. But either way, the lesson is going to be learned, you know. I think it's a rough situation either way you put it. The outcome, like I said, the outcome is going to move in favor of the empath, whoever the empath is. Ultimately, that's where it's going to end up, in favor of the empath. Because no matter how much money someone throws at a relationship dynamic, in the currency of things, right? Because I've talked about the 5 forms of currency. Money is like a penny, where love is like a silver dollar. And if you trade one money action for one loving action, the loving action is priceless compared to the money action. You know, they're not valued the same. You would need 100 money actions to be equivalent to the value of a loving action. There are so many people in this world who do not deal in silver dollars. When someone shows up with silver dollars, you're like, oh, wow, that's new. That's different. I don't see that all the time. Love currency is a silver dollar. Not everybody has it. Not everybody uses it. Not everybody gives it. So if you think you could throw money at an empath and they're taking loving actions, it's not balanced unless it's literally 100 to 1. Whatever or whoever the empath is in this, I think the judgment is ultimately going to rule in their favor. The judgment's going to be in their favor in the long run. In the long run, regardless of outcome. Doesn't mean the empath is going to get the outcome that they want. It just means ultimately it is going to rule in their favor in the long run. They're going to be better off in the long run than whoever is truly in their devil energy. I really would watch how close you stay to people, the proximity you are to them, because you're feeling their energy and mistaking it for your own. We talked about this. The action cards. Practice compassion. The only thing that is real is love. See things from a different perspective. Shift your focus from the problem back to love. I'll say this. As much as you may be standing your ground, trying to teach somebody a lesson, or as much as they are trying to stand their ground, trying to teach you a lesson, right? Because it can go a lot of ways. Someone might be like, oh, I'll teach you, leave me. You're going to lose everything if you leave me, right? You have those fucking assholes. Then you have those other people, you know, on the other end of the spectrum. I feel like at the end of the day, as much as we want to feel like we can or should school someone, the divine is the teacher and we are the student. We are not the teacher of each other here, not really. We are tools that the divine uses to help each other heal. The divine uses us as teaching instruments to help with the lesson, but we ourselves are not the teacher, the capital T teacher. Like, that's the divine's job. The divine is the teacher. I would not be insistent. I would not be insistent on teaching someone anything. I would let life teach them. I would let other experiences teach them. I would let the divine teach them. I would not suffer. I would not suffer to try, quote unquote, try and teach someone a lesson about themselves and make them see. All you're going to do is hardcore teach yourself and make yourself see. And you're going to sit back and ask yourself what the fuck you're doing. And all kinds of stressful energy. Acceptance, right? Acceptance. That was one of the key words in gentleness, right? Acceptance. Be kind to yourself. Stay connected with the divine. Trust the divine will teach them in ways that you might not be able to teach them. You might be trying to teach them this whole time, and all you're doing is building resentment and hatred. They're not even learning anything. You know, like, let yourself be taught. Let yourself be taught. That is your best path. Let yourself be taught as a student of the divine how you got yourself in this situation and how you will never put yourself in this situation again with people that you don't understand and they don't understand you. Because truly, no matter how much you think you understand somebody, you don't understand them. You don't understand them. You did not live their entire life and have all of their experiences and see things from their eyes. You have no idea why they are the way they are, how they could be that way, why their love language is this or that, because you don't know the kind of energetic culture that they grew up in. They grew up in a different kind of household. They grew up in a different kind of experience. That's why they speak that language. You grew up in a completely different one. That's why you speak your language. The emotional, psychological, spiritual, energetic culture is different. You do not understand them. They don't understand you. And you do not understand them. This is the Rainbow Warrior Activation deck. We got 2 cards. Wow, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cards 23 and 45. So progressive numbers could be synchronistic for you, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, or 5, 4, 5 could be synchronistic as well. Let's get into these energies. card number 23 is grounding. Okay. Depth, center, clarity, focus, comfort, knowing, and connection. Connection has come out here. Connection came out in gentleness, and connection came out here. Connection, connection, connection. Connect the dots. Connect the dots. The subtle ebbs and flows of life are the building blocks of your experiences. Your ability to relax and concentrate allows you to receive and use new information. Grounding is the dynamic of connection and the use of newly retrieved data. Centering yourself creates a feeling of comfort and familiarity that leads to a state of relaxation and receptivity. What is new about this information for you? Delve deeper into your circumstances or needs to better understand why they exist. This will be the key to your success right now. A grounding ritual. Take 4 deep breaths and visualize a cord of light from the Creator flowing down through the top of your head, down your spine, and through the bottom of your feet to the golden core of the earth. Processing new information. Seeing things differently, perceiving things differently, right? This is all about self-ownership. This is all about self-ownership. Right? And the confidence to be transparent with yourself. Faith and vulnerability. Right? This is what this is about. You cannot be spiritually ignorant and rack up karmic debt. You have to be able to look at yourself. Otherwise, you're a hypocrite, right? The other side of self-owning is hypocrite. Insecure, right? The opposite side of confidence. You don't want to do it. Hiding and keeping secrets from yourself because you're ashamed to admit the fact that you fucked up along the lines that got you here. At some point, you weren't in your highest good energy. That's fine. You're healing here. You're not supposed to be in your highest good energy from the fucking gate. But if you don't accept the lessons as they come, if you are not a good student, if you are not studying up on yourself and why the divine has certain experiences happening for you, like, you're gonna keep going through the same fucking bullshit. True facts. Like, you're gonna keep going through the same bullshit. This is a repeat pattern. It's a repeat pattern. And no matter which way you cut it, no matter which path you take, you cannot move forward and repeat this pattern. You cannot move forward and repeat this pattern. There will be a whole nother level of kick in the ass, self-loathing attached to it if you repeat it again. Again. Don't do it. Learn the lesson. Find people who speak your language. Or where y'all are interested in each other enough to learn each other's language. But don't go thinking you and somebody else who don't fucking understand each other can move forward in life hunky-dory and there's going to be no problems because y'all are just yesing each other and receiving each other's love languages, but not even truly receiving it for the gratitude or whatever that comes along with it, you know? Synergy is the second card. Harmony, divine relationship, cooperation, joy, power, group dynamics, and patience. It says, synergy is the divine cooperative relationship between 2 or more beings, energies, or substances whose combined effect is far greater than any one of them alone. Synergy can be received as obvious or unseen help from sources known or unknown. Welcoming synergy into your life today acknowledges a higher standard of self-confidence, support, and resources which are now yours. Your willingness to move out of hibernation or isolation at this time will make a huge impact on all things in your life. Learning how to work in group dynamics is a skill set that must be practiced. Patience, perseverance, and cooperation are the key dynamics at work right now in the current situation. How can you make peace? One strand of thread holds tight. 2 strands bind securely, but 3 strands working together fasten like no other and cannot be easily broken. 𝐤𝐞'𝐫𝐞 4:12. What can you learn from all of your repeat experiences? Because they're not really powerful all by themselves. Obviously, you didn't learn it the first time or the second time or however many times. But multiple experiences, to put them together, might make the lesson a whole lot stronger. You might be able to grasp it now that you have multiple strands to look at. Synergy, grounding, practicing compassion. The only thing that is real is love, right? The universe, spirit, God, source, creator, whatever you want to call it, wants gentleness for you. The divine wants gentleness for you. If you don't want to hear the message and you want to pull your head away like, nope, not hearing it, that's fine. You'll go through it again in this life or the next, because Pluto, right, scorpionic energy, judgment, holds no bounds. It's not limited by time and life cycle. Okay. You'll come back and you'll learn it in the mirror all over again. That's fine. Or you could look at your experiences and take ownership of yourself and be real with yourself. Be fully transparent. So like, you know what? This is the common thread of me in these relationships. In this relationship, I gave my power away in this way. And in this relationship, I gave my power away in a different way. And in this relationship, I gave my power away still yet in a different way. Maybe I should stop giving my power away. I felt powerless in this circumstance. I felt powerless in that circumstance. And I felt powerless in this circumstance. What belief system? What belief system do I have that has been unmovable and is toxic? What is it? Who taught me that I am powerless? How have I reaffirmed that belief with the dynamic ships that I've chosen? And can I forgive whoever or whatever it was that first taught me that I was powerless? Because I've literally been reaffirming that belief my whole life. Who taught me that I needed to be codependent? Who taught me that I needed to give my power away? Who told me that I was weak? Who told me that I was less? Who told me that I wasn't capable? Because I've been reaffirming that belief my whole life. And even if you can't remember, Even if you can't remember who or what it was that originally taught you this belief, this is what the common thread is for. Because you might have learned that belief at 1 year old. You would never fucking remember. You would never remember what happened to you when you were 1, when you felt powerless. It could have simply been a parent that you were in a fucking store and you wanted something and your parent had all of the money and all of the control and you didn't want to move from this spot because you wanted that, and they just picked your ass up and walked out. And you felt powerless. You might not know where the experience came from, but you understand the pattern when you take the time to look and learn, because Spirit is teaching you. You are the divine's student here. You are not the teacher. You are the teacher's tool for other people on occasion, but you are not the teacher. The divine is the capital T teacher. So what are you supposed to learn? What are all of these lessons and all of these different experiences? What is the common thread? You're not powerless. You can grow and you can change and you can become capable and you can develop connection. You can understand or learn someone else's fucking language. If you paid attention in class, they've been trying to teach you love the whole time. They've been trying to teach you providability the whole time. They've been trying to teach you intellectual conversations the whole time. They've been trying to teach you intimacy the whole time. Like whatever your lessons are, the divine has been trying to teach you the whole fucking time. And if you're sitting there on your phone and you're not paying attention to the lesson, well, no, you're not learning shit. You're not paying attention to the teacher. You're not paying attention to the divine. You're fucking off. You're going to get held back. You're going to repeat the grade. You're going to repeat the lesson. See you next life. You're going to do it all over again. Or you could just simply pay attention, because the shit is important. And you can't move forward on your own path and your own journey blind. Can't move forward with your eyes closed. Teachers in this life might push you through. The divine don't, though. No one gets pushed through. You either learn it or you don't. It's a pass or fail thing. There's no grade. Well, they got a B. It's passable. No, you either pass or you don't. It's a pass-fail thing. You either pass or you don't. That's the judgment. Whoever learns the lesson, they're the ones moving forward. They're the ones with the new spark. They're the ones experiencing new life. That is the person who's going to win out in all of this. The person who actually learns what the divine is trying to teach them. The person who chooses to self-own and self-acknowledge and self-correct and understand. That person's going to be on the victorious side of things. Whoever's fucking off is going to have a rude awakening. Because they're not learning. They don't want to. That's fine. But whoever is learning is going to move forward, and they're going to take the wins. They're going to take the wins with them to the next level. They're going to be out of these fucking cycles, out of these patterns. They're not going to feel powerless anymore or incapable anymore. You know, they just fucking learned something. You are the student. Period. Never get it confused. You're not going to teach anybody. The divine will teach people. But you ain't going to teach anybody. And if you get hung up on teaching somebody a lesson, I promise you, you are going to learn the hard way. The divine is going to teach you. Okay? The divine is going to teach you. Figure out what is worth it. Figure out what is worth it. Because whatever it is, the only thing really worth it is you learning whatever the divine has been trying to teach you. There is nothing else that matters more than that. And if you can understand that, watch how the divine rolls things out. Watch how the divine rolls things out when the teacher takes command of the classroom and starts putting people in detention. You know what I'm saying? So, I have faith that if you caught this message, that there is good reason why you caught it. Because it's helped you learn something about yourself and your path and where you are meant to be and where you are meant to be moving and what you should and should not be focused on. All right. I love y'all, and I will catch you next time. Take care, guys.